The LGBTQ community has been forced to rise above the odds and fight for their rights as individuals for several decades. From 1952, when homosexuality was deemed as a sociopathic personality disorder, up till 2022, where Club Q goers were gunned down solely based on their sexuality, homophobia has continued to plague our society despite the progress that has been made in recognizing the existence of queer people. Shows like Sex Education step outside the box in showcasing the existence of gay relations, in addition to educating the audience on the hardships and life experiences of LGBTQ individuals and those alike. Let's break down how the show Sex Education serves its purpose as a form of representation for cultural minorities, in addition to how it may play into common stereotypes and sources of misinformation about the gay community as a whole.
Hello, for our serial project. My name is Timothy. My partners are Sharon and Christian, and we decided to do our serial project on sex education. Sex Education is a show on Netflix. The story follows the main character. His name is Otis and his journey in being comfortable in his own skin. This is a story about people in high school. Otis is a high schooler, and it follows other characters throughout the story. So a little bit about Otis is he's the son of a famous sex therapist. This has messed with him as a kid. He has problems throughout the show that we see that stems from his mother being a sex therapist. What the show revolves around is him opening an advice clinic for other students in his high school. He uses his mother's knowledge to open these and what he's learned from her and her famous books she has in her house. The story follows a few different characters and their sexual attractions. So a lot of people in the show aren't sure about what they like. You see very different people in the show, stemming from like gay people, bisexual. I don't, in the season we chose, there's no transgender or any like pansexual, anything that isn't what the two I named. Oh, okay. So for our main topic, the person we're going to follow, his name is Eric. Eric is a African, a son from an African family, and he, is a homosexual character. He's best friends with Otis, so we see this relationship form. And for the entire show, you've known about Eric's sexuality. His parents know. His parents are okay with it, even though they are traditional African parents who may not see this being the most comfortable or normal thing, but they're okay with it. Like I said, a Nigerian religious home. But the outside world view on Eric is very different from his close friends. He's shy. He's a sometimes awkward character. And then later on, about episode 5 or 6, he breaks out as a character. He goes to a party dressed in drag. He fully embraces himself. So how Eric was treated. So first of all, another character named Adam, who's basically the school bully in terms of that. He refers to him as Tromboner, as a funny joke. He was attacked for wearing the drag queen outfit by people outside of the party. He was ridiculed there. Also, he was shunned and only had a few friends. So, Otis. There's a few other characters who are very close to him. He has trouble being open, or he's in an open relationship with Adam, where they're not really a thing, but Adam is somebody who actually struggles with his homosexuality, and he goes to Eric to figure it out. His parents luckily supported him through his journey. So this is something that we could take away as a positive. And then Otis and Maeve have also accepted him for who he is. Those are the two main characters. So yeah.
Hi guys, my name is Sharon and I'm going to be talking to you guys about stereotypes of gay people in television. So the way that television stereotypes gay people is they represent them as like them being awkward, being lost and confused characters, not really like knowing what they're doing. They also stereotype them as being very moody. They're really up and down with their emotions, so it's very hard for them to like make decisions. That's the way that they stereotype them. Something else that I'm going to be talking to you guys about is the stereotypes of gay people in non-television media. And most stereotypes about gay men are about how they have feminine characteristics. And for example, a few of them would be hand gestures, the way that they like move their hands. I mean, with what I see, like in women, I feel like we always like do move our hands, like when we're talking or when we're trying to get a point across, we always feel like we always have to have that movement. Also, another stereotype in non-television media would be their voice. And another one would be clothing, which what I mean by clothing is like the colors that they wear, like bright, happy colors. And the way like they dress and like the way that like they put their sunglasses, that's just basically how like non-television media would make it like that.
This season of Sex Education showcases an interesting dichotomy in the sense that characters like Eric, who are a part of the queer community, inhibit the stereotypical traits of being overly flamboyant or quote-unquote in your face about their sexuality. But there are instances that showcase real-life hardships and scenarios that are associated with members of that cultural minority group, such as forms of homophobia, gay bashing, the censorship of the gay existence, in addition to familial hardships that result from sexuality preference. Some examples of specific narrative techniques that are used to situate and discuss these stereotypes would be the classic high school social status totem pole, where the straight white characters are at the top and the ambiguous sexuality ranging characters of color are at the bottom. Our group would argue that this show takes a relatively consistent approach to common stereotypes associated with being a feminine gay via the interest in drag, obsessions with gay icons, and the infamous pairing of the only two known gay kids within their high school wanting to be in a relationship. The various serialized plotlines help shape the political dimensions of the stereotype in the sense that the show clearly caters to a younger audience that may be more aware of the complex nature of sexuality and gender.